Good morning, members. It is 9:15 on Thursday, September 24th. We are seeing SPY gapping down from yesterday's low of 192.91, currently in the 192 range. On the 5-minute chart, we are looking at a low of 191.68, another low of 191.65, so we're going to look at 191.60s to hold. 20-period moving average resistance is the key here of 192.13. I want to look at the daily and weekly charts for SPY here just to get a sense of the overall markets and where we stand. So I'm going to flip over to the daily chart and the weekly chart. With the daily chart, we are looking at where we're going to open here, which is going to be the low 192s, and that is going to be below the two low of days that we've seen on Wednesday and Tuesday. So now we are looking back to support down on the low seen on September 4th. That's all the way down at 190.62. So still a bit of wiggle room where we can find a low and still have it set the higher low pattern. But if we get below 190.62, we'll start to be a lot more cautious and leaning towards the bear side. On the weekly chart, between today and tomorrow, it is essential for the bulls to hold the 100-week moving average resistance or support. We don't want that to turn into resistance. Support is 193.29. So that is the goal, to close above by the end of tomorrow. If we close below it, we will certainly shift our feelings on the market towards more bearish, as that will be no longer support. So that's where we stand on the daily and weekly chart for SPY and the markets overall. So going back to Fidelity, we're going to look at some specifics here. I want to point out two oversold stocks. Might as well actually stay on the daily chart just so I can exemplify what we're looking at. Quabert gave us some nice ones yesterday. Moss is getting oversold, 5 days down. RSI is under 20. You can see we're going to be watching for a bullish reversal candlestick to form. No sign of one yet, and we don't want to get in too early in a falling knife scenario. So we're going to be watching. The low of yesterday was 31.85. If we see a lower low, we're going to stay on the sidelines and stock this trade for the bounce. The other one is POT, P-O-T, and no, it is not related to marijuana. It is potash, and that is down as well. Low of very similar chart actually, RSI 21, but still 5 days down, very similar. Increasing volume, that is a bearish sign. 2088 is the low. We'll see if that can hold, and if not, we're going to be on the sideline stocking that bounce as well. So let's get back on over to Fidelity here. And check out some of the other plays. We are seeing PCLN is going to open fairly lower. That is was a bullish stock. We are watching the 50-week or 50-day moving average on the daily chart for PCLN to hold as support, and that level is 126041. Middle Bollinger Band is 1273, and we're going to open below that here to start the day. I also want to point out Tesla, which is still in a very bullish chart, giving some opportunity here for entry. We had a low yesterday of 257.58. Let's see what we're doing here pre-market for Tesla, holding up against the market downturn. So we're at 259.46. The low of 257.58 is still support. 10-day moving average 257.66, looking really good and having strong support on the daily and weekly chart. So let's check out Netflix. Netflix pre-market, we got key resistance of 97.90 and 98.23. 20-period moving average is support at 97.14. We are watching resistance. The 10-day moving average is 99.96. So we got a whole bunch of resistance in the upper 90s up to $100 psychological resistance. Support of the low yesterday was 97.66. We're going to open below that. Support from Tuesday was 97 flat. If we see 97 flat break, we are not seeing support until down at 93.61. So potential bearish move here for Netflix. Watch volume, decreasing volume here so far. If we see a increase in volume over 10.3 million, and on a red day, it will be especially bearish. CNET. Very key support 638 and key resistance 730. Also have some resistance at 694. Let me pull up the daily chart to see what we're looking at. down significantly from the $8 seen very early this pre-market. So this is one where we had a high yesterday of 615, so we're going to see another gap up. This is the third gap up in a row, which will be a bearish reversal pattern. So a lot of caution on this one. We have run from $3.60 to now $6.60 in about a month. So definitely warrants some caution. The RSI is over 70. Price is extended above the upper Bollinger Band, and we're going to gap up for the third day in a row. So I would not be playing this one bullish, but you are free to play it as you choose. SUNY is down below $9 psychological support. We now are looking like we are coming down to $8.50 psychological support, and after that the $8.10 52-week low. So SUNY is definitely giving back way more of its gains than anticipated, but still could set a higher low and be fine if it holds the $8.10 support, and it would be a nice bounce to get back in. We will be stocking that trade as well. ARWR. Nice uptrend here pre-market. We've got support of 9.11. Resistance is the high of pre-market at $10 even. That's going to be some tough resistance to get through. It'll be very bullish to break $10 even. Looking at the daily chart for ARWR, we had the 200-day moving average support of 674 hold yesterday, and now we are seeing a very big gap up. So there was a lot of news there. That's another one where I'm not buying a gap up that is way above the upper Bollinger Band and missing out. You know, this stock's already gone $2.40 out of $7 pre-market, so that's what? I can't do the math in my head right now, but that's about a 30% move. And it was down at $5 a month ago. So we're seeing a 100% move in the past month, and I would not be getting in on such a large gap up. So GoPro, we are seeing the low of 32.22, looking like we will hold that to start the morning here. We will see if GoPro can form a higher low. You can see the resistance very clearly here, the 200 period moving average of 32.97. We got 32.70 resistance and 32.51 resistance as well. So still waiting on GoPro to close above the 10-day moving average. That will be a signal to start looking for a bullish move up. Groupon, GRPN 368 here pre-market. Let's check out the daily chart. We have 3 big red days in a row, and we're seeing another gap down to start today. This might be the third gap down, so a bullish reversal pattern. We'll keep our eye on it. The low from the market crash was 353. Look for a double bottom support to be found there. RSI is 28 and oversold. So keep your eye on GoPro for signs of support. Let us know if it holds that 353 low. Facebook, we're watching the 10-day moving average resistance. Let me pull that up to get an update on what that is. Fairly consolidated range here pre-market. We got resistance of the 20 period at 93.08. 10-day moving average is 93.39, so that is resistance. The 50-day moving average support is 92.63. Bounced fairly close to that level off 92.50 here for the low pre-market. And we got resistance at 93.60, 93.66. Seven minutes to go until the open. PayPal 33.76. Looking at the daily chart. Middle Bollinger Band resistance is 34.08. 10-day moving average is 33.64. That is support. We have decreasing volume the past 4 days. Need to see 32.50 support hold, and a break of 34.62 will be bullish. Looking like we might see some bullish turnaround here on PayPal in the near future, but definitely want that middle Bollinger Band to be more strong support. It's closed above it twice now, but not 2 days in a row. So keep your eye out for 2 closes over it in a row. If we were able to get over 34.08 and close above it today, that will be the second day in a row. Looking like TTPH is going to open a little bit lower here. We're watching volume there as it keeps consolidating. It went from $8 to about $12, so definitely normal consolidation after such a quick, strong move. In 4 days, we saw that move happen. So just seeing some consolidation here, nothing wrong with that. Looking for the low of 1036 to hold. And under that, we have the 10-day moving average of 1026. AZO, not much pre-market, 746.23. Looking at the daily chart, we can see we've got a close above the upper Bollinger Band yesterday. That level was 742.48, so that is now support. 750 has been resistance on both the spike back in August and the spike on Tuesday. So we are watching for a close above 750. That will be a key bullish indicator. The MACD just had a bullish cross 2 days ago as well. Nice little uptrend holding the middle Bollinger Band support of 725.63. So look for a close over 750 on AZO, but that will be above the upper Bollinger Band. And I certainly don't like getting into stocks above the upper Bollinger Band. So let's see how SPY is shaping up. 4 minutes until the open. Still struggling, trying to find some support. Needs to turn the 20-period moving average into support, 192.11. Pot is going to open lower, looking like a little gap down there. SSYS is seeing pullback from that rejection of $31. We'll be watching that one for long term. FCX is bearish. 975 resistance, 995 resistance, and $10 psychological resistance. Looking at the weekly chart, we see middle Bollinger Band is resistance at 1055. The 50-day moving average is dropping fast at 1129. And we had a low on Tuesday of 972, looking like we're going to open below that. So that means our support is down at 951. If we don't hold 951, it'll look like we're coming back to the low seen in August of 776. So very important to hold 951 support. I am not seeing much on this chart that I like for bullish momentum at the moment. The inability to hold $10 is a little concerning, but if we get a close above $10 today, that'll be the third day in a row that it was tested and held as support. Keeping my eye on Monsanto, not much pre-market volume there either. So 2 minutes until the bell opens, we see Volkswagen is opening fairly significantly lower, down 50 cents. 26.05 was the low from yesterday. We'll see if that support can hold. Got the 200 period moving average support of 26.46 on the 5-minute chart. Apple has support of 112.84 on the 5-minute low pre-market. On the daily chart, 112.79 is middle Bollinger Band support. 10-day moving average resistance of 114.51. We've been within that range of support and resistance the previous 2 days. So keep your eye for a close above or below that support or resistance. And I'm still liking Tesla's daily and weekly chart for a longer term swing play. Holding up very well considering the market pullback. Still has all of its moving averages as support on both time frames. So we got a minute to go here. We will be watching SPY. Oh, never mind. We are open now. Watching SPY. 20 period moving average. Support is 192.12. As we see pot with the gap down, we'll be watching for a bounce on pot and MOS. VLKAY with a very nice open here. The pre-market was a lot lower at 26.50, so it shrugged that off really quickly back over 27. So that was a very bullish start for VLKAY. Let's see where we had a high of day yesterday. 27.63 is resistance on VLKAY. SUNY is holding $9 psychological support. We will watch to see if that is able to hold up or not. Seeing volume on hemp here, 400,000 shares in the first few seconds. That's significant. That's $20,000, and we're almost at 20% of the total volume yesterday, and yesterday was an increase of volume as well. So we'll keep our eye on that. Again, if everybody can keep the Twitter up for North Carolina Industrial Hemp Association and keep an eye on that, because today could be the day. Tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday, those are all the days that we are watching. Definitely seeing some volume here. And we know it's not Walidi. He sold his shares yesterday. So we have a lower low for TTPH. It's looking like we might come down to $10 support. We're watching volume comparatively. SPY seeing a nice little bullish move. We want to see a break of the pre-market pullback of 192.29. SUNY, nice bounce off $9 psychological support. 936 is resistance. 20 period 901 is support. VLKAY is doing its best to maintain $27 support. And we'll be keeping our eye on SPY, and SUNY appears to be trading somewhat hand in hand with SPY as well. You can see we have the upper wick forming as SPY pulls back a little bit, flip over to SUNY, and the candlestick looks exactly the same. So that is a pattern we've definitely been watching. TTPH recovering some of those early morning losses. And GoPro pulling back fairly significantly from its high as well. Hitting the 100 period moving average resistance of 32.69 and pulling back. Looking at GoPro here where we can find support. Yesterday's low of day was 32.22, so we want to see a higher low form there. Here comes SUNY down to test its 901 support found this morning. Keeping our eye on SPY. Broke above the high of 192.29. That was this little high closing in on the morning here at the end of pre-market. So Volkswagen is flirting around this 27 area, now resistance. We'll see if it can maintain that as support or not. And Sunni, we're watching low $9 to see if it can turn it around. Pot, I'm thinking we might see a target of $20 even for a bounce. This is the 6th red day in a row, getting fairly overextended, but we are not going to try and catch the falling knife until we see some signs of support. SPY pulling back hard here. 20 period moving average support is 192.13. Checking out ACI. 364, nice bullish pre-market and start to the day. Let's see what the daily chart looks like. So a little bit of a gap up. We have 10-day moving average resistance at 369. That level is being tested right now. Note that the RSI is at 77, so we just broke the flirting back and forth with the 10-day moving average resistance. $4 psychological support is also worth watching, but with the RSI at 77 and hitting 10-day moving average support and a gap up, I would not suggest entry here. And here is a bullish or bearish reversal candlestick bouncing around. Definitely a wide bid and ask as it keeps bouncing around like this. We'll see how the candlestick forms, but definitely hitting 10-day moving average resistance of 969. Facebook, we have resistance of 93.60, the 200 period resistance on the 5-minute chart. 100 period resistance is 93.64, so 93.60s are going to be tough. We have support of the 20 period moving average of 93.14. So it'll all be about if Facebook is able to turn these 93.60s resistances into support. So Sunni just broke $9 and is heading down quickly. We'll be watching that level for a bounce. 810 is must hold support. So Facebook, keep your eye on these resistances. If it gets above and closes above them and turns them into strong support, it will be a bullish sign. ARWR. Checking out the daily chart and wondering why my 5-minute chart is not loading. There we go. So pulling back here, that is the gap up. That's a gap and trap for sure. We hit $10 pre-market, and that is the level that we are pulling back from. We have support down at 810, but this is definitely a trap for the bulls pre-market here. We've seen it before many times. Look at this volume is what drove the price up. Insignificant compared to the 1.9 million share dump we just saw at the open. Classic gap and trap. Sunni is dropping very fast. We're going to be watching for a bounce. Currently oversold on the 5-minute chart, but we want to see this one play out a little bit. Sunni has just been getting beat up. CNAT lost 200 period moving average support of 642. We'll see if it back tests and gets rejected from that level. Looking at the daily chart to see if we have a possible short here. RSI is at 29 and oversold, so I wouldn't really like it for a short at this level. The gap filled from this morning. It opened at about, pre-market we hit a high of 697 and we filled the gap, which was at 615. I guess we haven't filled it all the way yet, but we're about to. I don't like getting in short if the RSI is already oversold. VTL 200 period key support is 378. On the 5-minute chart, looking at the daily chart, we had a low yesterday of 375. If we go lower than that, it will be a point for the bears. We got the 10-day moving average support of 361, middle Bollinger Band of 351. Upper Bollinger Band resistance is 404, and we hit a high of $4 yesterday, so $4 is psychological resistance. SPY, we're seeing a dump here. Key support to hold is 191.65 from the low pre-market. Here comes Sunni down to test its low of day. It was just a big bid at 880 that got erased in seconds. Here's the low of the day test, and it's going to get driven down more. We're going to see a new support came out of nowhere. Look at that big bid at 879, held the 878 double bottom. If this bid holds, it will be a good sign for the bulls of a potential bounce here in the morning as SPY continues to sell off. Broke that key level to hold, and we are dropping down pretty fast here. So there's Sunni setting a new low. Did not see the double bottom. Well, the market is in your favor right now, Chow, but I wouldn't want to hold them too long just because of time decay, and I expect the market to bounce in the somewhat near future just because we have seen 4 down days in a row and a bunch of red since the Fed meeting. Rejection here for Facebook from these key resistances was a good sign. If we lose support at 93.15 and set a new low, it will be good for Facebook shorts. Checking out Netflix here. Netflix is still maintaining this 20-period moving average support of 97.18. It did break 97 here. First thing, resistance is 97.85. Setting a higher high and a higher low here is a somewhat bullish development, but resistance here, 97.85, that will be the key test. SNCR, continuing from yesterday, it appears 20-period moving average resistance of 34.77. SPY seeing a little bit of a bounce here. We're watching this lower wick to see how much the bulls buy this dip. Sunni 875 was the low. GoPro up at its high of day. Let's see what the 10-day moving average resistance is on the daily chart for GoPro. We are looking for a close above that level for the bulls to get interested here. $33.70, need a close above that level, so that's a whole dollar away. High yesterday was $33.65. Low yesterday was $32.22, so still forming a higher low. That's a good sign. Still seeing a little bit of volume here coming in for hemp. We are watching that closely, and make sure you have your Twitter up to watch the legislation. If you are new, check out there's a video, a 30-minute video of me explaining the opportunity of hemp as a penny stock. We have some legislation here in North Carolina. Be sure to message Jason if you want to see a link to that video. TTPH low of the day is 1024. We'll see if we test that level as we have Sunni coming down to test 875 support. So here's SPY coming down to test its low of day, 191.55. Just held it right there. And there's a new low of day for SPY. So the SPY support, only support we're seeing on the daily chart here as we're having a bearish start to the day, is Back on September 4th, we had a low of 190.62, so we are looking for that level to hold. We have seen 5 of the last 6 days from the Fed meeting have been red. So expecting a bounce before 190.62, but we will be watching that level. GoPro coming up to test $33. We'll see if it can get over that mark. Here's SUNY testing its low of day again. Down 6%. This daily chart is getting oversold. There's the new low for SUNY. We are now below the lower Bollinger Band of 909, so that is resistance. RSI is 28. And we need $8.10 support to hold. SPY keeps continuing down. The RSI is approaching oversold, but still at 37, so still room to drop here for SPY. GoPro above 33, looking good. Nice entry John pre-market. That trade's looking pretty good as well. Pot, we just saw a new low of day. We're watching $20 even support, not trying to catch any falling knives with that. Let's check if Moss is doing a similar move down. And it is. We'll be seeing if potentially $30 even support on Moss will hold. This is a 6-day down for these two companies. And we are stalking the bounce, but not getting in early, waiting for some signs of a bullish reversal to form. Thank you, Zen. I really like Tesla for a longer term play as long as 253 support holds. Resistance is 259.66 and 260. SPY continuing to pull back here. Getting closer and closer to our 190.62 support level. RSI is 35. We will be watching very closely that key support. Want to check out MON here, M-O-N for Monsanto, as it's getting oversold. Very oversold. We have an RSI of 11 here. $8.74 here for SUNY, coming down to test that low again. As SPY keeps heading down, so does SUNY. GoPro lost $33 support. So that is now resistance. We'll see if it is able to have a more convincing close above 33. We got SPY here hitting a new low as well. RSI for Monsanto is 10. Extremely oversold. Disney is oversold as well. RSI is at 24. Let's see what the daily chart looks like. Lower Bollinger Band support of 99.82. Support after that is 99.16. And if we lose 99.16, we will be bearish on Disney for a more significant head move down. Here's SUNY setting new lows as SPY is testing its low of day, and looks like it might set some new lows as well. SUNY 88 or $8.50 is support we're looking at now. Psychological RSI is 22. We have TTPH dropping as well. We'll be watching $10 psychological support for TTPH. Very bearish day here. Let's check on Chow's puts here. Great job of Facebook losing 20 period support, setting a new low. Definitely looking bearish there, under $93. Netflix, all about this 97.83 resistance and the 97.22 support. That's where we're trading in between right now. We'll see which one gets lost or which one gets broken. Here's Sunni heading down to 850. That's just a psychological support level and not very strong, so I wouldn't base too much off of it, but the RSI is 21 now. Certainly getting oversold. So here's a bullish reversal doji forming. We still have 4 minutes until this candlestick is formed on Sunni, so be patient on that one. Pot still heading down. I have a small position in hemp right now, but normally I do not have positions, as I was advised by a lawyer to not do that while I am doing this chat room. And I also cannot focus as I'm looking at so many other tickers for everybody to do my own trade. So I think it provides a good unbiased approach as I look at every stock with absolutely no opinion of it. So I'm doing a whole lot less trading these days, Chow. But it allows me to look at things with an even keel and no emotional bias whatsoever. So here's Sunni forming that dragonfly doji still. Watching volume, we still have 3 minutes left to go. Looking like we're going to see a nice spike in volume. Seeing a 15-cent bounce from the low of the day right now, and a lot of volume is pouring in as we are bouncing around trying to find a potential bottom. And here's volume showing up right now. Should see the highest candlestick of volume on the 5-minute chart today yet. Still over 2 minutes until this candlestick closes. So let's see if Monsanto is forming any sign of a bounce here with the RSI at 13 now. We are seeing a little bit of a bullish reversal. 81.55 and 81.58, so a higher low. Watching closely. Here is SPY forming the same doji or hammer we are watching for Sunni. Bullish reversal candlestick. We will need to see confirmation the next candlestick. SNCR still has a bunch of resistance. I'm not seeing anything that's telling me it's looking good for a rebound at the moment, on the 5-minute chart at least. Let's check out FCX. Hit key resistance of the 100 period, 995, and pulled back, now trying to maintain 20 period support of 975. So should see a little bit of ping-ponging back and forth between this support and resistance level, and $10 is going to be psychological resistance after the 100 period moving average. Pot, we're still watching here. The RSI is at 37. I'm going to need to see a lot more of bullish reversal signs on the daily chart before doing anything bullish with pot. But there is going to be a bounce there, and we will be on top of it. Just want to make sure we're not catching that falling knife. Yep, ACI certainly took off. Do not get in now. RSI is 86. Let's look for a potential short target. Resistance is 436, the 100-day moving average. GoPro back over 33 and set a new high of day. So there's Suni's bullish reversal candlestick. We'll see if we get confirmation with a second green candlestick in a row. Looking like Netflix turned that key resistance into support with a breakout on very bullish volume. Now looking to maintain this 200 period support of 98.20. That is key. If it does hold that support, it will be bullish. Checking out the daily chart for where we're going to find some resistance for Netflix. 10-day moving average resistance of 99.83. So watch this back test of support. Broke it as resistance, now testing it as support. 98.20, key level to hold. If not, we're going to come down to 97.83. GoPro looking good here. We'll see if it can back test this 200 period moving average support. Knocked down many times as resistance here to start the day, and we have that level at 32.96. We'll see if that can hold as support. Let's see if SPY is confirming its bullish reversal candlestick. Looking like it so far. We still have 3.5 minutes until it closes. Resistance is 190.192. Sand RSI is at 83 on the 5-minute chart. We had a high of 292 and a high of 292. So right now 292 is resistance. We have upper Bollinger Band resistance of 294. 100-day moving average resistance of 295. So mid 290s is definitely some resistance for sand. Could see some pullback. And keep your eye on volume there as always. Let's see if Suni is seeing some bullish reversal confirmation. Not yet. Not seeing that green candlestick confirming, so we will stand on the sidelines still. Not trying to catch that falling knife. Nah, that's not enough of a bounce. That's just a little one, John. We want a swing trade, nice daily bounce. ACI is getting close to shortable territory. Let me look on the daily chart and the weekly chart to see what our targets are for a pullback. $436 is resistance on the daily chart. That is a 100-day moving average resistance. And not seeing anything on the weekly chart around that level. So this is looking like an area of resistance, but again, we're not seeing any sign of a slowdown here on the 5-minute chart, so be cautious, wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form. GoPro looking great. Keep setting higher highs for the day. Let's see what we're looking at. 33.75, a close above that would be bullish. An increase over 8.5 million volume would be bullish. And a break of 33.65 is yesterday's high of day. So seeing that little upper wick here on ACI, there's 436 again. High of the day is 443. So watch closely here. Definitely seeing that resistance. TTPH did see some bullish reversal confirmation here. Want to see a break of 1041. We got 1048 resistance, 1058 resistance, and 1072 resistance. So by no means are we out of the woods yet. Not a very convincing bullish reversal. Yep, nothing on SNCR's chart looking bullish on the 5-minute to start the day. Let's see what SPY's doing here. A little bit of a bounce we've seen, confirming its bullish reversal. Had a green hammer, green candlestick afterwards, confirmed the bullish reversal of the green hammer. And now we'll see if we can get some follow-through. Resistance is 191.88, 20-period moving average. So let's check out SPY here. Seeing a little bit more convincing. The bulls want to see a increase in volume on the 5-minute chart. 1.65 million was the previous candlestick. We still have over 3 minutes in this candlestick and we're already at 1.05. So should see an increase here. And that will be a good sign. GoPro high of day 33.29, looking for a break of 33.65. GoPro keeps setting high of days. New high of day. Let's see if we have any 5-minute resistance there. Backtest support of the 200 period held it and now heading higher, looking like we're going to see an increase in bullish volume compared to last candlestick. So that is a good sign for the bulls. Sunni seeing a nice 20 cents bounce heading up with SPY as SPY is continuing to bounce as well. But that is not convincing on the daily chart for Sunni. Let's see what SPY is up to. So we did see an increase in bullish volume. 191.89 is resistance. Nice bullish reversal here, confirmed, and seeing some nice follow through. Netflix unable to hold that 200 period moving average support. Now testing the 100 period, currently below it, but 97.82. We'll see if the bulls can recover that level. 97.36 is support of the 20 period. Watch volume. An increase in bearish volume would obviously be a bearish sign. I didn't know ARWR had puts, but we're looking for support. Psychological support of $8, and 745 is the 100 period moving average support. Still watching the 20 period moving average resistance on Sunni, 889. That will be a battleground in the somewhat near future. So we'll see SPY pulled back from 191.68. We'll see if it can break that level now, as we are seeing a little bit of a green hammer here. Sunni's heading back down, only 11 cents above its low of day, as we have TTPH setting a new low of day. Watching $10 resist or support there, psychological. Hammer forming here, bullish reversal hammer candlestick. We'll see if we get confirmation of that. Looking at the daily chart for TTPH, we have the 10-day moving average at 1043. So that is currently resistance. Need to close above 1043 for TTPH. Volume yesterday was 1.5 million. We are already at about 1/7 of that. 37 minutes into the trading day, so it might see an increase in volume, and if it's bearish, that will obviously be a bad sign. Support after $10 is 970. All about 191.68 here for SPY. And so we see a higher high on this candlestick. Looks like we might see another increase in bullish volume, and resistance is the 20 period at 191.87. I suggest a pen and paper in front of you at all times, just so you can keep track of all these different support and resistance levels. Writing things down helps commit it to memory, and then you have it in front of you to check whenever you need to. So we got 50-day moving average support of 92.69. If we're below that, that's obviously resistance, and the middle Bollinger Band of 91.51. So testing the 50-day moving average resistance right now. Low of the day of 92.31, so that's also support. And then we had a low on Tuesday of 91.92. So SPY is coming up to the 20-day moving average resistance or 20 period, not 20-day, 191.86. GoPro looking great. Nice breakout right there. Should be getting overbought. No, RSI is still 66, so 33.65 was the high of the day yesterday. A break of that will be bullish, and we are looking for a close over the 10-day moving average resistance. HAL, nice bounce there. Resistance is 37.06, the 20 period on the 5-minute chart. Looking at the daily chart, we have a low today of 36.52. Resistance of the 10-day moving average is 37.49. And strong resistance on the 5-minute chart of 37.36. So mid 37s is going to be resistance for HAL. Facebook is probably just following SPY up. This is a bullish reversal candlestick, but we've got resistance of 92.98. Sunni, a nice bounce following SPY up as well. Resistance of 888. And we've got SPY coming up to its resistance of 191.86 as well. Tesla has some resistances at 259 and 260 on the 5-minute chart. I am seeing some nice strong support on the daily chart in the 255 range. We are forming a lower low compared to yesterday. The low of Tuesday was 255.87, low today of 256.95. 10-day moving average resistance or support is 258.69, so currently below that is resistance. 253 is looking like nice daily support. We have the 50-day, 100-day, and middle Bollinger Band support lining up there. And we got 254.90 middle Bollinger Band weekly support. So SPY is seeing a little bit of pullback here, unable to turn the 20 period into support. Bearish reversal candlestick is forming with 2 minutes to go. So looking like we may see a little bit more pullback in SPY off of this 20 period resistance. And yep, that is Sunni diverging from SPY. Good eye, Mason. We're seeing a explosion of bullish volume. We have resistance at 888 is now support. We'll see if it can back test and turn that into support. I'm feeling like it might get rejected here with 1 minute left to go. Bearish candlestick on SPY, bullish candlestick on Sunni. That is a divergence in the usual pattern. Really good eye there. Let's see how it reacts to $9 resistance. Looks like we might be seeing some short covering on Sunni. So support is now $8.88 and resistance $9 even. Alright, I am going to sign off here and stay in the chat room. I'll leave this webcam up for you guys to view. I appreciate you being here this morning, and we are going to see if SPY keeps heading down or if it can form a higher low above 191.08. If 191.08 is the low for today, it will be a higher low over the 190.68 mark we've been watching. And keep your eye on SUNY here, as we have now turned $9 even into support, and we are seeing some bullish follow through. 926 is now resistance. Well, 923, the high of the day, resistance, which should line up with the 100 period moving average as it comes down. Watch for a back test of this middle Bollinger Band support, 889 now. RSI still has plenty of room. Want to see this 20 period have some strong support. Hemp is testing the low of the day soon here, 5 cents and 55. We'll see if that level holds. The low of the past 4 or 5 days has been 0.053. So keep your eye on that level. I'll look at shop here quickly, and then I will talk to you guys in the chat. The low of shop, 32.81. Another one, 32.83. And today's low, 32.80. So a close, well, actually, yeah, a break of 32.80, and we could come down to 31.79, the 50-day moving average. Let's see what the 5-minute chart looks like in terms of overbought or oversold. Looking like we're going to see a bounce here for a little bit on shop. Ideal entry for a short might be this 100 and 200 period moving resistance that knocked the price down here to start the day. SUNY definitely seeing some follow through. Let's see what the high was right here, 922. So getting rejected from the high of the day. All right, thanks for being here, and I will talk to you guys in the chat.